So Maria and Carl, kind of take us back to your wife is stuck in Mexico, and you're flying down there.
Yes.
And that's when you had your stroke. When did the stroke happen?
The evening of June 30th.
Okay.
I returned the 28th, and I remember late. I was in bed, but I was alone, and I thought I was having a nightmare. I was able to sit up, and I realized this was real. It wasn't a nightmare.
Now, were you in the United States then, or were you in Mexico?
I was in the United States.
Okay, so but your wife Maria is in Mexico.
Yes.
Okay, so you wake up in the morning and you think you've had a stroke.
Yes.
And you had just flown from Mexico back to here.
That's correct.
Okay.
And obviously, I was able to call 911, and they took me into Salina Regional and then transferred me to Via Christi in Wichita. But the bad part is this torn artery cannot be repaired. Can't be surgically repaired.
You said it was the vertebral artery, so that's one of the
Yes.
main arteries to the brain.
Yes.
So you're here in Kansas, and your wife is in Mexico, and she can't get
Yes.
back in.
Can't get back.
And you'd already been trying for. You guys got married 4 years ago. Is that right?
September 6th, be 4 years.
So you get married almost 4 years ago, and she's unable to get back, and we get her citizenship papers, and eventually she leaves the country and ends up in Mexico.
Yes. And in an attempt to get her papers.
So you'd hired an attorney 4 years ago to try to do all
right.
this. She
That's
certainly
correct.
has a legal right to become a citizen since she's married to you. So you go through this for years and years and years, and she's supposed to go back to Mexico to finalize the paperwork.
That's correct.
And then there was some big hiccup there, it sounds like.
Very big hiccup.
And this would have been about a year ago when that happened?
Well, no, it would have been April 27th.
Okay. Of this year.
Of this year.
So you spend 3 years thinking you're about to get it right.
Oh, we were so happy the night before.
So you fly back, because to start the process, you have to come back in, as I understand.
That's correct.
So you get to Mexico, to which city?
Juarez.
To Juarez, and then what happened in Juarez? It blew up.
Well, it's a 4-day process.
Okay.
You have a medical exam, fingerprint check, background check, and then the 4th day is an interview process. And that's where the hiccup was involved. Do you want me to go into detail there?
Oh, so they held you up anyway, right?
They held her up.
And they wouldn't let her in. And was this on the Mexican government's side, or is this our?
Well, we were at the American Consulate, United States.
So the American
Consulate's
Consulate's office, right?
Yes. And of course, she wasn't allowed to return.
So you come back.
I came back alone.
And is that when the stroke happened?
No.
That was a separate trip.
Yes. I came back alone and started the process of a 1-601 waiver.
Okay.
And was going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. We were looking at approximately a 2-year delay before they even processed that waiver. And then I contacted Congressman Dr. Roger Marshall's office here in Salina. And within less than a month, my wife was along my side. And it's hard to keep the tears back when I say that. Your office did more in approximately 25 days than all the lawyer, what have you, did for 4 years. You got her home, as simple as that. In fact, when they handed her paperwork, that was it. They just handed her paperwork, said, "Congratulations, welcome to the United States.
Wow.
You're on your way."
Wow.
No more questions.
Well, we're glad your wife's here, and we're glad
Oh, I'm glad.
you're back together.
Oh, it's terrific. Life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good. And it's all because of you and your staff.
Well, I can take just minimal credit except for hiring good people.
Well, I wish Bonnie were here too.
I do too.
It's too bad she's not here because she really worked hard.
So Bonnie's one of our staffers, and she works out of the Garden City office. So she's become an expert on immigration.
Oh, yeah. We visited at length a number of times. Yes. Extremely good woman. Extremely good.
Yeah, she dots every I, crosses every T,
Oh, yeah.
and has a great heart.
And loves to talk.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's an incredible story, and you know, unfortunately, it's a fairly common story we hear that people want to do the immigration the right way, and our process is just so broken.
Yeah.
And it, just like everything in government, it's just gummed up, and it's so hard to go through the process. Our veterans have a lot of those same problems too when they're trying to get go through their processes as well. They kind of just get gummed up, is what my grandfather would have called it. So we're glad you're here and you're safe and got your wife with you.
Well, thanks to you.
Yeah, you're very, very welcome. You're welcome. I'll let the reporters ask you some questions, and they may have a better way of doing it than I do.
I don't know. You do pretty good.